Good day, everyone. We are group number 6 and we are assigned to present our research proposal entitled Food and Service Management Students' Readiness for their on-the-job training in the new normal. Inputs for a proposed training development plan. But before we start, let me introduce the researchers of this study, namely Mayan T. Balisi, Jobilin M. Opada, Charlotte O. Sarahena, Jean I. Sinahon, and Earl John Valenzuela from Bitibited 3A FSM. Now for the table of contents or flow of the presentation, we will explain chapters 1 to 3 of our study. For the chapter 1, it includes legal basis, personal reasons, statement of the problem, significance of the study, and scope and delimitation. For the chapter 2, it includes related literature, related studies, conceptual model of the study, hypothesis, and definition of terms. For chapter 3, it includes methods, sources of data, data gathering instrument, procedure, and statistical tool to be used. Let's proceed to the legal basis or what we call background of the study. According to Pockrell et al. 2020, 1.6 billion or 94% of students in more than 200 countries have been affected due to COVID-19. And because of the pandemic, it suddenly changed the mode of education from face-to-face to electronic learning, or in short, e-learning. Now let's define e-learning. According to TAM 2020, e-learning is defined as learning that is facilitated electronically. It is usually carried out over the internet with students having access to their learning materials at any time and from any location. E-learning is one of the reasons why we continue our schooling. Through technology and having access to a World Wide Web, it helps the students and teachers to connect with each other. E-learning have benefits for teachers and students, and that includes even we are not having contact with our professors or teachers, we still continue learning through having an online classes. As I said a while ago, through having video meetings and use of other communication tools, it is simpler for us to connect with one another. We don't need to travel from home to school and vice versa. We also don't need to cost too much money in printing handouts and other traditional materials because we can access it online. And lastly, the availability of software applications and technological tools that helps both teachers and students in education. However, the researchers noticed that many students having a problem with their internet connection during online classes. That is why it's hard for them to focus and catch up the lesson. Another issue, due to poverty of some families, it's really hard for them to buy gadgets like smartphones and laptops because they don't have enough money to purchase online learning equipment. And lastly, the researchers also noticed that students lost their focus, desire, and interest because of the distractions in their surroundings.
In our statement of the problem, this study aims to determine the readiness of food and service management students for the on-the-job training in the new normal, which could serve as input for a training development plan at Marikina Polytechnic College, school year 2020-2021. In this study, gusto naming malaman na gaano ba talaga ka-ready yung mga food and service management students sa kanilang on-the-job training ngayong nasa pandemic tayo. So, gusto naming, yung goal namin is, kapag nalaman na namin kung gaano nga ba sila ka-ready, dito kami magka-come up ng idea na gumawa or bumuo ng training development plan na pwedeng makatulong sa kanila sa kanilang on-the-job training. In a specific problem, More specifically, this study answers to the following questions. 1. What is the readiness level of the BIT, BTVTED, and COT third-year food and service management students for the on-the-job training in the new normal in terms of the following aspects as perceived by students respondents? A. Student preparedness. B. Student technical skills. C. Adaptability to new normal. D. Training and development. 2. Is there a significant difference between the perception of the three groups of respondents on the level of the readiness of the BIT, BTBTED, and COT food and service management students in the new normal in terms of the above mentioned aspects? So, if the researchers level the readiness of this three group of respondents, this is the start to come up with an idea on what training development plan could be proposed. And lastly, what training plan could be proposed based on the result of the study.
Significance of the study. This research will provide new perspectives on the readiness of food and service management students for the on-the-job training during the new normal, which serves as inputs for a training plan development. This study is deemed to benefit the following group of people: students, parents, instructors, professors, industry partners, the researchers, and future researchers.
Scope and delimitation of the study. This study will be conducted in Marikina Polytechnic College. 173 total numbers of students are randomly selected from third-year food and service management, and it is divided into 3 courses. 51 respondents from Bachelor of Technical Vocational Teacher Education, 93 respondents from Bachelor of Industrial Technology, and 29 respondents from Certificate of Technology students in Marikina Polytechnic College.
Chapter 2, which is the review of related literature and studies. So let's start first with the related literature. So the first one is, the new normal should be addressed with the development and implementation of a new normal education policy in order to maintain and provide excellent education despite lockdown and community quarantine by TRIAP 2020. So this related literature is somewhat helpful to our study because we also want to determine the adaptability of the students onto the new normal. Second, being prepared implies that you have the necessary skills to deal with what lies ahead and to learn from, as well as contribute to what is going on. It indicates that you have important skills that will assist you not only in coping but also in achieving your next learning opportunity, by Effendi Roy et al. So this related literature wants to determine the students' skills and their perception and how they will adjust and cope up with the said new normal. So this is helpful for us because we also want to determine students' preparedness and their technical skills. So another, it is by Al-Dahi et al. 2021, study titled Internship Preparedness Among Students in Healthcare-Related Fields in the COVID-19 Era, Exploring the Attitude and Knowledge in Saudi Arabia. So this related literature somehow connects with our research study, which is our main focus is the preparedness of the students and their internship. So it's really somewhat helpful and beneficial for us. Now let's move on to the related studies. So our first bullet is 371 students were analyzed, and the questionnaire was divided into three groups, namely socio-demographic data, knowledge of COVID-19, and attitude toward hand hygiene. Okay. Next is that the results suggested a strong need of current training programs regarding hand hygiene practices among students of healthcare-related fields. So these two bullets shows how the student should adjust in the new normal. And so since they were going to do internships, so they need to be aware on how to properly engage their sides while they are in the new normal. So this related study is somewhat helpful for us. So another related studies. Okay, so this is from Danny et al. 2020, which was entitled "The Impact of COVID-19 on Education and Internships of Hospitality Students." So according to Danny, hospitality students agree that COVID-19 gives a large disruption to their internship program, and these students also face large problems in their online classes. He also cited that even though some students prefer online mode of learning, still most of the hospitality students prefer traditional face-to-face mode of education. Okay, so as the COVID-19 goes on, or the new normal, um, it's really hard to engage in online classes. Um, that's why we also want to determine in our study, are the FSM students really ready for their on-the-job training amidst the COVID-19. So we also want to determine their status while being ready and prepared for their internship.
Conceptual model of determining the readiness of food and service management students. Input. We will use checklist for the questionnaire. The respondents will come from third year food and service management. 51 respondents from BTVTED, 93 from BIT, and 29 from COT. Process. The content and validation of survey questionnaire. Administration and retrieval of the survey questionnaire. Statistical treatment of data. Analysis and interpretation of data. Output. Readiness level of the BIT, BTVTED, and COT third year food and service management student for the on-the-job training in the new normal. Significant difference between the perception of the three group respondents on the level of readiness of the BIT, BTVTED, and COT food and service management. Research hypothesis. The hypothesis pursued in this study is There is no significant difference between the perception of the three groups of respondents on the level of readiness of the BIT, BTVTED, and COT Food and Service Management students on their internship in the new normal in terms of students' preparedness, students' technical skills, adaptability to new normal, and training and development.
Definition of terms used in the study. The following terms that are included to the present study were defined operationally below. Adaptability to new normal. It refers to the level of adaptability of FSM students from face-to-face to the new normal mode of learning. BIT. It refers to one of the courses offered at Marikina Polytechnic College, which stands for Bachelor of Industrial Technology. BTVTED. It refers to one of the courses offered at Marikina Polytechnic College, which stands for Bachelor of Technical Vocational Teacher in Education. COT. It refers to one of the courses offered at Marikina Polytechnic College, which stands for Certificate of Technology. FSM. It refers to Food and Service Management, one of the courses offered in Marikina Polytechnic College. On-the-job training, a type of training that is required to college students before they graduate. It's either in public or private sector that is given to a paid employee while he or she is engaged in productive work, and that's provide knowledge and skill that is essential to the full and adequate performance on the job. Student preparedness. It refers to the readiness of the students to make or to do something. Student technical skill are set of abilities of knowledge used to perform practical tasks. Training and development. It refers to educational activities within a company created to enhance the knowledge and skills of employees while providing information and instruction on how to better perform specific tasks. Training development plan involves program that enables students to learn precise skills or gain knowledge to improve job performance. This plan identifies areas to develop or enhance and ascertains what actions or activities need to be taken to acquire and embed that learning.
Chapter 3 entitled Research Design. This chapter presents the research design, research local, source of data, data gathering instrument, data gathering procedure, and statistical instrument. Flatwood 2021 defined quantitative research as a systematic investigation of phenomena by gathering quantitative data and performing statistical, mathematical, or computational techniques. Pinili namin ang quantitative research design dahil alam naming mas suitable itong gawing method sa gagawin naming study para maging successful itong ginagawa naming study. Under ng quantitative research design is descriptive. Descriptive research is defined as a research method that describes the characteristic of the population or phenomena studied. This type of research refers to research questions, designs of the study, and data analysis conducted on that topic. Descriptive research allows a researcher to provide insight into the why and how of the research, and also to better understand the needs of the research. The sources of data in this study are 173 third-year food and service management students who are officially enrolled at Marikina Polytechnic College, academic year 2020-2021. The main goal of purposive sampling is to focus on a particular characteristic of a population that are interests in which the researchers will enable to answer the research question. The computation of the sample size using the Sloven's formula is as follows. This is the Sloven's formula. Table 1, population and sample of the study. We have three group of respondents: BTVTED or Bachelor of Technical Vocational Teacher Education, BIT, Bachelor of Industrial Technology, and lastly, COT, Certificate of Technology. In BTVTED, there are 89 total of population, and the number of sample is 51. In BIT, 164 of total of population, and the number of samples is 93. In Certificate of Technology, there are 51 total of population, and the number sample of 29. The total population is 304, and the number of sample total is 173. Table 1 show that there are 51 BTVTED, 93 BIT, and 29 COT students that will become respondents of the study to determine the readiness level of the third-year food and service management students for the on-the-job training in the new normal.
For the data gathering instrument, the researchers will be using questionnaire checklists and able to determine the readiness level of third-year FSM students on their on-the-job training during new normal. In data gathering procedure, we will seek permission first to the Dean, the department head of Food and Service Management, and also to professors of FSM through request letter, and after that, when the letter is approved, we will administer the instruments to the respondents. The researchers will disseminate the validated questionnaire to 173 FSM students of Marikina Polytechnic College via Google Forms, and of course with the help of FSM professors. After that, the researchers will automatically collect the data for tally and interpretation. For statistical treatment of data, the researchers will be using weighted mean to find the average scores of the evaluation of students' respondents in terms of students' preparedness, students' technical skills, adaptability to a new normal, and training and development. We will use 4-point scale because we wanted accurate results of their evaluation. As you can see in the table, 4 is the highest with a range of 3 to 4, which means strongly agree, and 1 as being the lowest with a range of 0.99 to 1, which means strongly disagree. For the statistical to be used, we will use t-test to determine the significant difference between the perception of the three groups of respondents, BIT, VTVTED, and COT Food and Service Management students on their readiness to their on-the-job training in the new normal in terms of the following aspects: students' preparedness, students' technical skills, and adaptability to a new normal, and training and development.